Hi everybody. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on crow pose and a couple of variations. So the first thing to know about crow pose is that it is an arm balance, but a lot of it has to do with physics. So yes, there is some upper body strength and there is core strength. So if you don't have that, then you're going to work on that. But a lot of it also has to just kind of do with getting the balancing right. So you're going to draw your belly button in. That's where the core strength comes into play. And before we start anything, you always want to warm up the wrists. So you're going to be in the tabletop position and you're clawing at the mat, and you're pushing away. So you're not collapsing into the shoulders. You're always trying to be light. You're pushing away. And then you just shift the weight forward and back to kind of wake up those wrists. You really want to make sure you warm up before you do any type of arm balance. And you could roll around in one direction and then roll around in the other direction. Take your hands, bring them to the outside, facing sideways so you get it at different angles, hitting those wrists. Bring the hands towards you, shift the weight forward and back. So again, you're just really trying to warm up those wrists all different ways. Lift up the hand, have the top of the hand feet on the floor and shift. Get a nice stretch in the wrist this way. Bring it back and then switch. Press it into the top of the floor. Shift the weight forward and back. Beautiful. And then stand up, interlace the hands and move them around in one direction like a figure eight, move them around in the other direction. Open and close the hands, move them, just really warming things up. And because we're going to be doing side crow, you're going to get some twisting in here as well. So just use the blocks if you need to, one or two or none, and then reach over. Get that nice extension on that side, roll the shoulder back and down. Inhale, exhale, bring it over to the other side, roll the shoulder back and down. Get that nice extension. And then we're going to go for the twist. Use a block if it'll get you there, deeper into the twist. You can even sit on the block if this is not comfortable for you. And roll over. One more twist. Breathe the left arm up and back. And then shoot it through. That twist going. And then the right arm, bring it up. Inhale, and then shoot it through. Beautiful. And then you can sit it back, or maybe on the blocks if you need to. And a little twist this way. And a little twist this way. Nice. So I'm going to show you how to do crow different ways. One, you can have the block, maybe one, maybe two. Depends on how terrified you are to face plant. So you could have two blocks here, you could have one, use a book. Just make sure that the block is positioned the right way. And you're going to have the other two blocks underneath your feet so that you can lift the hips up higher. Because your goal is to get the knees up as high on the tricep as you can, even into the armpit. And by starting off on these blocks, you're already up there. You're making it a little bit easier on yourself to have those hips placed higher. You're drawing the belly button in. That's another thing to consider. And looking forward. You need to have your gaze forward to counterbalance all the weight that's back here. Some of you may not have a lot of weight back here. I have a lot of weight back here, so I need to counterbalance it by looking forward. So it's drawing that belly button in, really engaging the core, looking forward and pushing away from the earth. You don't want to collapse into the earth. Now, if you want to build up on that strength before we do anything, you would build up by doing, chaturangas, push-ups. You just work on this to build up. Maybe modified, looking forward, working on this to build up. And you just have to go as far down until the elbow is at the shoulder level. You don't go beyond that and you push away. And that's how you just kind of strengthen that upper body. So we're gonna be back to the crow. Feet are up on the blocks, belly button is into the spine, and you're positioning the block in such a way that your forehead could be on there if you feel like you're going to place face plant, and you can have another block even on top of that as well, or you could even have the block this way. Make sure it's a nice and sturdy block. Your arms are going to be out, your belly button is going to be in, and you make that little shucks. So look how high up my knees are already, not my arms. And I shift the weight, and if I need to, I'm going to place my head here. And then I'm just going to play around with this, but I'm pushing away from the ground. And all I'm doing is drawing the belly button in, and I'm playing around, I'm pushing away from the earth. And then hopefully at some point I can float. And that would be your first level. You're just playing around with that. Your next level would be to not have the block. Maybe take that security blanket away, look forward, draw the belly button in, and then play around, play around, play around, play around until, you kind of get it there. Beautiful job. All right, so here we go for the next level. You could still stay with your legs up there, but so you put 2 blocks here, or 4 blocks here, or books. Make it easy on yourself. And your arms are going to be out here. Roll the shoulders back and down, and you're going to shift forward so that these shoulders are on the blocks. And you can see that pretty much now they're right in line with the elbows, and that's where they need to be. And push away. So you're going to lift up on the balls of the feet, look forward, draw the belly button in, arms are nice and wide, claw at the mat, place the knees up high, look forward, and then, let me do this first. Look forward first, and then lift up. And then play around with it. So you really need to place the shoulders on here first. I just learned this move, so bear with me. But you place the shoulders on first from this tabletop position, look forward, then lift up, placing and play, and play and play. And there you have it. You're drawing the belly button in. Then your next level would be maybe just having here in case you feel like you're going to face plant again, but you're trying it without anything on your legs, without having your hips raised first. So you're bringing it forward, maybe even 2 blocks, look forward, and then play, and then play and play, but just really don't collapse on your head. That's just kind of there to help you a little bit. It's not there to collapse on. And your final level would be to go into that crow pose. So the arms are out, the belly button is in, you're pressing away from the earth, you're looking forward, you're bringing your legs up, placing them high, and then drawing the belly button in and pushing away from the earth. And there you have crow. Beautiful job. So now we're going to go into side crow. So we got that twist on. Just kind of get back into it. Twist, twist, twist. And get used to that twist, twist, twisting. It's a core engagement. Again, so you're going to draw the belly button back, bring it up, and then just kind of lift and then shift.
So it's almost like you're doing a seated side crow this way. You're kind of getting your hands in that position, rolling shoulder back, pressing away, get the twist on, and then breathe and bring it over to the other side. Create that little tabletop, really twist, and then bring it. Now you're really going to activate the core. So you're going to kind of go into that boat pose, lift it up, and then twist. And you can put your leg against your form to really get more into that twist, because you're going to need to twist a lot for the crow. And then bring it up and bring it over to the other side. Use the leverage of the leg, draw the belly button in, and then bring it. So you're going to be working on the core strength. It's your hip flexors too. And then we're going to go into the supported crow. So the first way that you're going into crow is when you have these chaturanga arms, similar to a straight out bakasana. When you're in the twist, and I'll show it this way, you're going to place this hip on this tricep and this right above the knee on this tricep. So you're making the connection with both of these parts onto the body. You're going to have that connection. And that's how you're going to start off with this pose. You're going to bring the blocks to the side, similar to the way we did it on the regular straight out crow pose. Lift up off the balls of the feet and twist. So here's where the twist is. This leg is already making the connection, and now this hip needs to make the connection on this arm. And you're going to shift the weight, keeping that connection, and place the shoulder onto the blocks. Look forward and then play. Lift legs up, push away from the earth. Use the blocks to help you draw the belly button in, and then lower. And that would be the first way to do it. Now the next way, I'm gonna still twist this way, but I'm gonna show you the twist. You're not going to have that connection. Eventually you do not want the connection of this with this arm. So you're gonna go into the twist, really, really twisty, twisty. The connection is here. Look forward, shift the weight, and then put your shoulder here and then lift up, but it's off the other arm. And then bring it down. And then we can do that on the other side. But what I'm gonna do is and then you're gonna use it without the blocks. So I'm just gonna show you without the blocks on the other side, or maybe not. You're gonna lift up and you're gonna twist, but you're gonna make the connection with this part and this part. So I'll show you this way. Here's the twist. Here is my little shelf, and look, this hip is making the connection onto this arm. Shifting the weight, looking forward, pressing away from the earth, and then lifting those legs up, drawing the belly button in, and you're gonna feel that balance point. And then lower it down. And then the next level would be to not have this hip rely on this arm. So it's a lot more core work. You kind of have to feel the balance because it's gonna be only onto the one arm. So you got the twist on, draw the belly button in, place the arm here, squeeze, 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 shift the weight, and lift up. And drawing the belly button in, and looking forward, and balancing, 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 and then bring it down. So that's forward crow and side crow. Now there's other variations like Ekapada Koundinyasana 1 and 2, where you kind of add a twist, and it's just another arm balance, but I'll throw that in there. But actually on the side crow,
you could actually extend the legs out at some point if you want to even play with it even more. So you go into this twist. Yeah, go this way. Get into your twist. Draw the belly button in. Bring it down, and then maybe you'd start out with a connection on both hips, making the connection first. Look forward, and then see if maybe you could get those legs out. And bring it back in. I have to remind myself I have a hernia here. And then you try it on the other side. And then sometimes one side is easier or harder than the other. You're gonna find out which one is the side that you can do things on and which one you can't very quickly. And then look, and then see if you can get those legs out, draw the belly button in, and bring it back in. They don't last very long. So then there's the ekapatas. Again, it's a lot of core work. Roll the shoulders back and down. And the best way to do them is to work on your plank. So you're drawing the belly button in, and you're gonna bring the right leg all the way up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then bring it back. And then you're gonna draw the left leg all the way up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And bring it back. And have it one more time. So bring it all the way up, squeeze, work the core, and bring it back. And other leg, bring it up, and bring it back. And then just sit it back, get a little rest. Now you can use the blocks to help you in this pose. 1 or 2 blocks. You'd bring it over behind, or even like lift it up here for support, or actually maybe even 2 blocks, but push away from the earth. Put your hip on to the block. Bring this arm over, lean, and then you're in chaturanga arms, and the leg is out. And then bring it back. And then shift over to the other side. 1 or 2 blocks. Put it right below the hip crease. Oh, hi. Bring this over, chaturanga arms, and then extend out. And then you can play around with it by using 1 block and lowering it. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift the leg, lift up into plank, bring it, make the shelf with your arms, and then lift. And then see if maybe you could shift the weight and lift that back leg up. And bring it. And then I'll show you with the other side. So you're gonna bring, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. Bring it in here. Go into the plank pose. Oops. Go into plank pose. Well, bring the leg up first. Now lower into chaturanga. And then lift. And then shift the weight. And then maybe you can lift that back leg up. There we go. And bring it back in. The block, I think, threw me off. So eventually, you're gonna work it so that you shift the weight, bring it, and then lift. It's easier for me to do without the block, which is pretty funny. Then you could do this from a twisting pose. So I usually do this from Lords of the Fishes, half Lord of the Fish pose. Easiest way for me to be able to do it. But the knees, leg is bent, and oops, you're in a twist. So here you are in a twist. Squeezing everything in towards the midline. Squeeze. So this is the Lord of the Fishes, half Lord of the Fishes pose. Reach up, and then hook. So again, you already have this connection with the knee and the elbow. And then this hip is gonna make the connection with this arm, similar to that side crow, the twisted side crow. That's how you first start. This makes the connection. You shift the weight forward into chaturanga arms, and this back leg has to come up now on the ball of the foot. Shift, connect, so the hips here, lean forward, and then lift the legs up. And then, eventually you play around with it. And then bring it down. And we'll just do the other side to be nice and even. Roll the shoulders back and down. Put the hand, lift, and bring it over. Got the twist. You have that connection. Now this is gonna have to make the connection here. Chaturanga arms, back foot curls under, hip touches that back forearm, look forward, and shift the weight. And then at some point, you could stretch the legs out after you practice for a while, pushing away from the earth, and then bring it down. Now the same thing would happen with this pose, is eventually you're off that back arm and you're just gonna balance on one arm. So we're gonna try it one more time. Draw the belly button in, squeeze, lift up, and then hug. Really squeeze everything in towards the midline, and this time this is not going to be here. It's gonna be all here. Shift the weight, look forward, and then press away. And then lift up, which I'm still working on. And I'll show you on the other side. It's a work in progress, but that's why it's called a practice. We're always practicing. It doesn't help that I have a hernia, 2 hernias by the way. But, all right, so I'm trying to do this without having this here. That's the goal. Shift the weight, draw the belly button in, and lift up, and then stretch out, and then bring it back, and bring it center. So there's a lot more variations, obviously, but that's a good way to get you started. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale, let it float down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, let it float. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them, and have a wonderful day, everybody. Thanks.